Hello everyone, welcome back to our literary terms lecture series. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss an important concept of literary criticism called affective fallacy. So, what is the affective fallacy? This term is related to the way we judge and analyze a literary work, especially a poem. Affective fallacy. The term affective fallacy refers to the era of evaluating evaluating a poem or the literary work only by its effects on the reader, especially its emotional effects. In simple words, we can say when we judge a poem only by how it makes us feel, we are focusing on the reader's reaction instead of the text itself. That is known as the affective fallacy. The concept of affective fallacy was introduced by the two important critics, W.K. Wimsatt and Monroe Beardsley, in their essay The Affective Fallacy, published in 1946. They, are, they were associated with the movement of New Criticism. What is the main argument of affective fallacy? According to Wimsatt and Beardsley, a poem should be treated as an independent object of critical study. The meaning and value of a poem should come from its own features, not only from the feelings it creates in readers. They believe that the reader's emotional response alone cannot be the standards for judging literature. The idea of affective fallacy was developed as a reaction against I. Richard's view. Richard suggested that the value of a poem could be understood through the psychological responses it produced in readers. However, Wimsatt and Beardsley argued that emotions are only the effects of a work, not the complete measure of its literary value. Now, let us understand the problem with the affective reading. If we judge a poem only by our personal emotion, every reader may have a different opinion. One person may find a poem beautiful, another may find it boring, and someone else may feel deeply emotional. Because of this, criticism can become impressionistic and relativistic, meaning it depends too much on the personal impression and individual opinions. In this process, the actual poem, its language, structure, imagery, and techniques may be ignored. That is why Wimsatt and Beardsley warned critics against depending only on emotional responses. After this discussion, the focus shifts towards objective criticism. So, what is the objective criticism? The objective criticism means that the critic should study the feature of the works, literary devices, form, structure, language, and analyze how these elements create meaning. For example, if someone says this poem is great because it made me cry, this is an effective response because it focuses only on emotion. But if we says the poem uses powerful imagery, symbols, and rhythm to create its effect. This is objective criticism because we are analyzing the text. Now, during the 1970s, reader response criticism developed as a reaction against the strict idea of affective fallacy. Reader response critics gave importance to the reader's role in the understanding literature. What is the key point to remember? Let us quickly revise that. Affective fallacy means judging literature only by its emotional effects on the reader. It was introduced by Wimsatt and Beardsley. It focuses on the difference between reader response and textual analysis. New critique emphasized objective study of the text. So, affective fallacy teaches us that a literary work should not be judged only by our personal feelings. A good critic studies the work itself, its language, its form, its structure, and techniques. Thank you for watching. For more literary terms, please subscribe to the channel and stay connected.